Welcome to another episode of Frame by Frame, a series dedicated to the craft of filmmaking. This month, Assassin's Creed hits theaters, hopefully with more than the dull thud that accompanies most video game adaptations. What's interesting about this adaptation is the depth of talent attached. The cast of killers includes Michael Fassbender, Jeremy Irons, and Marion Cotillard, as well as Justin Kurzel, the director behind the Snowtown Murders and the latest adaptation of Macbeth. Yet what fascinates me even more about Assassin's Creed, as both a game and a film, is the Animus. For the uninitiated, the Animus is a device that renders genetic memories into a virtual reality simulation. That's right, all this period piece stuff you're seeing, it's all a VR simulation. Now sure, you and I aren't going to be hopping through Granddad's memory banks anytime soon, it would probably be boring as anyway, yet we are entering the age of VR filmmaking. In fact, promising VR shorts are already making their mark at prestigious festivals like Sundance and Tribeca. So let's say you wanted to tell Callum Lynch's story in VR. How would you do it? Well, first you'd have to pinpoint the differences between traditional and VR filmmaking. In traditional filmmaking, the director, not the viewer, controls the visual presentation. In VR filmmaking, the opposite is true. The director presents the viewer with a visual environment. The audience decides how to view it, which means shot design is, in a way, outsourced to the viewer. And that's not the only complication you're going to have to deal with. Let's talk about audio. In traditional filmmaking, sound designers can adjust the audio perspective to match the on-screen action in post-production. Think about it this way. You see a car travel from screen right to left. The audio can be mixed so that the vehicle sound starts on the right speaker and then shifts to the left. To create an immersive VR experience, though, the acoustics should change every time the viewer's perspective does. I know, by this point my brain was melting out of my skull too. I had so many questions. How do you edit a VR film or direct the viewer's attention? To answer those questions, let's look at 3 current models for VR storytelling. Grand Unified Theory number 1. Let's call it fixed camera narrative. Shorts like The Click Effect and World Tour are solid examples of this style. The approach can involve one or more locations. Either way, the camera remains stationary throughout, allowing the user to only view the environment from a fixed position. Transitions, not camera movement, are used to shuffle the viewer between locations. To me, this is the least creative approach to VR filmmaking. That said, I think it's also the most effective for conveying a specific mood or atmosphere. Alright, Grand Unified Theory number 2, the moving camera narrative. This type of VR film uses you guessed it, moving camera, match cuts, as well as visual and audio cues to guide viewers through a narrative. Justin Lin used all of these techniques to great effect in his VR short Help. The film was made by stitching together several long VR shots with seamless match cuts, very similar to how Alejandro Iñárritu directed Birdman. The only difference is that Help's audience has multiple ways to view the film, so Lin uses both audio cues and visual cues to guide the audience's attention from one plot point to the next. This approach makes Help's albeit simple story easy to follow. No mean feat considering the complications inherent to the medium. My opinion, if VR storytelling has a future, Help and films like it are the shape of things to come. Okay, final model. What the hell? Let's call this one active participant VR. The concept is still, at least from what I could find, theoretical, so I can't point to a concrete example, but the idea goes something like this. Participants would travel to a real-world location, most likely a set. There they would strap on a VR headset and explore the space. The VR story would be revealed to participants through their interaction with certain objects. For example, opening a door or turning on a light switch would cue up a specific scene. I'd imagine designers will have to create linear paths for viewers to follow in order to tell coherent stories. Speculation aside though, this model offers a degree of interactivity the other concepts lack. How creators are working with this model differentiated from VR gaming, however, is still a big question mark. Of course, none of these ideas are even possible without the right hardware. So if you wanted to create a VR film, what gear would you need? Let's start with 360 cameras. For consumers, the Ricoh Theta S is a popular choice. For professionals with deep deep pockets, it's the Nokia Ozo. Regardless of the model, 360 cameras basically work the same way. Their bodies house multiple cameras that record simultaneously. These multiple perspectives are then stitched together to create one 360-degree wide shot. Wonderful. What about the other 50% of the filmmaking equation? You know, sound. Some cameras, like the Ozo, have built-in microphones. If your camera doesn't, you'll need a mic like the Sennheiser Ambio VR 3D microphone. My god, I'm gonna run out of breath just saying the name. The Ambio has 4 cardioid capsules which record a spherical audio pattern. Now what you're gonna wanna do with external microphones like this is place them beneath your 360 camera. It's gonna be the only way to keep them out of frame. It's also going to allow the audio perspective to match the visual perspective. You see, the Ambio records audio tracks that can be rendered in post to create a 360-degree audio environment. Correctly paired with VR video, the result is an experience where the directionality of the audio changes in relation to the user's visual perspective. Now, are you going to be able to buy your Nokia Animus anytime soon? No. But imagine donning a headset to watch the Assassin's Creed VR movie. Think of the replay value of a film you could watch 1,000 different ways. Or the thrill of following Callum in VR form through a recreated set from the film. Just envision how many times you could vomit while plummeting like this in VR. Regardless of the possibilities, the success of virtual reality filmmaking depends on how well creators use the medium to tell their stories. So here's hoping that Assassin's Creed can give us our narrative fix in the meantime. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe to this channel, Film Theory, for more fantastic film-related content. If you'd like to check out more Frame by Frame, click the frame to the left to watch an episode on the origins of the found footage horror film. Or if you'd like to check out a Film Theory episode on Game of Thrones, click the frame to the right. And until next time, my name is Kyle, and this has been Frame by Frame.